Hi, it's Angie with News OK, and I am here today with Becky Varner, who is our Recipe for Health columnist for the Oklahoman. And today we're talking about an alternative to pumpkin pie for the holidays. We're talking about pumpkin mini dessert cakes. All right, tell us about these.
Okay, Angie, what we have done, we have modified a recipe for this. We have taken a higher fat recipe and we have made a couple of changes in the recipe. Actually, we have, instead of using whole eggs, we're just using egg whites. And instead of using oil, we're using vanilla yogurt, low-fat yogurt. And so it's virtually a fat-free recipe.
There we go.
And very good. It's very simple to make. Also, we're starting with 1.5 cups of flour.
Okay.
And I want to share that this sifter that I use belonged to my grandmother. And so if it looks a little old, it is.
I love it.
And
it's got sentimental value.
It's got a lot of sentimental value to it. So that's what I always use.
I love
it. I'm going to put my flour in here.
Okay.
And then I have measured my spices. I have nutmeg and ground cloves and cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of each. And we're going to, a quarter of a teaspoon, I beg your pardon, of each. And then I have my baking powder and my soda and my salt measured here.
Okay.
And we're going to just put that in and sift this through our sifter. And that just helps it to all mix together really, really well.
See, this is the original, one of the original sifters, so.
It is, and I just love it. It's the only one I bought because it works so well, and it does have sentimental value. I think of her every time I use that. So, okay, we have our ingredients sifted together now, and we'll just set this aside and move to our next bowl.
Okay.
And I'm going to put my sugar. I have 1.5 cups of sugar.
Okay.
And a half a cup
of
the yogurt. And I know it is good. I do want to mention that it's better to use one that is not sweetened with the artificial sweeteners, just the regular low-fat vanilla yogurt. And
that helps health-wise, I'm sure.
It does. And by using the vanilla flavored instead of the plain, you don't need to add vanilla to your recipe.
Nice.
So it's one more step to save.
Wow.
And then we have 3 egg whites, again, that we're substituting instead of the whole eggs, and that saves some fat and cholesterol.
Okay.
And it's best to mix this with a whisk. It just works. It comes together a little bit easier to do that. So we're going to mix this up. And I like when I'm doing something that, making something that we're going to be pouring it into a container, I like to use a bowl that has a spout in it because it makes it so much easier to do that. Yeah,
Very good point.
It works well.
I really do enjoy baking, so that would make it easier.
Well, it's a little shortcut.
There we go.
Okay, now we're going to add the pumpkin.
Here it is.
And Angie, I wanted to just mention here, this recipe is so versatile. Instead of pumpkin, you can use mashed bananas.
Wow.
You can use
so just depending
craisins.
on your...
you can. There's a lot of variations to this recipe, and those are given in the article.
Depending on what you want, what you're in the mood for.
Exactly.
There you go.
And but what we're going to do today is the traditional pumpkin for our pumpkin cake. And you can see how easy this mixes. And so we have that stirred in, and that was 1 cup of just the regular canned pumpkin.
Okay.
And then we're going to add our dry mixture to this, and I'll let you, if you want to kind of help to direct the dry ingredients in there. There we go. And you can see that's easy to mix. You don't need to worry about getting all the flour mixed up. There can there can be some lumps. You want to get the flour to where the flour is actually, you don't actually see the flour, but there can be some lumps in there.
And I always try to get off the sides. I don't know if that's important or not.
Well, it is, because you want to get it all mixed in there. You're doing a great job. All right, thank you.
It's hard.
Yeah, it gets a little stiffer as you mix it, doesn't it?
Thick.
Okay, I'm going to take my lid off of my cooking spray here.
Now this is what we're going to use for the loaf.
That's right.
Okay.
And so I'll go ahead and spray this. I don't want to get this on you.
Oh, it's fine.
And these sprays are just so nice to be able to use. And I'm going to just pour this in here.
There you go.
And as I mentioned, this can be used for muffins, little mini muffin cakes, or the little bitty, and we've got examples we're going to show of the 2 different sizes. Okay, we'll get the rest of this in here. We'll kind of smooth it out. There we go.
Nice and easy.
Okay, it sure is.
And so you can make cupcakes as well.
We can make the cupcakes, and we can make the little mini cupcakes, and we'll have, actually today we're preparing, I've got that I'm going to be showing too, the mini cupcakes made with the bananas, so you can see the difference.
There we go, and hopefully taste the difference too.
That's right.
So when you put these, when you put the pumpkin mixture in these, would you say fill these about half full?
About half full. In fact, I like to use a 1/4 cup measure, and that you don't need to put a little less than 1/4 cup.
Okay.
But to use a measure, again, that has the little spout to make it pour works real well.
There we go. Okay, so how long are we putting this in the oven?
We are going to bake this at 350 degrees for 55 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
And then we'll test it with a toothpick. And, you insert that toothpick and be sure that it comes out clean and it's done, ready to go.
And if we do the cupcakes, how long does that go?
The cupcakes this size are about 22 minutes.
Okay.
And then the little bitty mini ones that are about 1 inch in diameter, about 15 to 18 minutes.
All right, sounds good. Let's put this in the oven and discover the yummy taste of pumpkin dessert cakes.
Yes.
All right, so the loaf is out of the oven, as you would say. Looks good, smells good, and you've already started cutting.
Started cutting this, and we're cutting it in slices about like so. And you want to use a real sharp knife. And it's better to let this cool enough. You can see I'm not having any problem holding on to it. It's cool enough that it's fine. And we're going to be showing this on our tray, the loaf pan cut like this, and then our muffins as well.
Yes, all right, wonderful. Okay, Becky, this looks fabulous. Now tell us what all we have on the tray.
Okay, first of all, I want to tell with what we started with on the bottom of the tray. These are the little doilies. I like to use the little individual doilies because you can place them where you need them to be.
There you go.
And so that's what we've done on the bottom of our tray. Yes, just a little, decorates it a little bit. And we have taken one recipe, our pumpkin muffin recipe, which we made the loaf pan. This is with the pumpkin. Made another recipe that is with the bananas, and we made both the larger and the smaller
mini
muffins.
ones, yes.
And the thing that's so nice about this, Angie, it's one very simple recipe that can be varied in several different ways, and it looks so different. You can put them on the same tray, and you've just got a variety of things to share with your guests.
There we go, and especially with the little doilies, and you've got little Christmas napkins here. Okay, now I'm going to try the banana. This is the banana mini muffin.
Yes.
Oh, it looks fabulous. Let's see. Oh my goodness. That's fabulous. And like you said, you can add things to this.
Absolutely. And they're virtually fat-free.
Oh my goodness. Great. Well, thank you so much. For more on Becky's column with my mouth all full of food, you can read it in the Oklahoman for the recipes on her wonderful pumpkin. And you can, like she said, substitute banana and all kinds of things.
Cranberries.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angie.